Welcome everyone for our today's event. Good morning, good evening, good night for all our UXers who have joined our workshop. So, thanks you so much for joining our workshop. Okay, that's great. Let's move ahead. Okay, so today's our workshop is for the get the fastest interview insights with Jane. So Rozemarjin will be sharing all her insights, her presentation, her demo, which we will be using for our UXR challenge. This application, JED application, which will help all the UXers to get all the insights from the interviews and all those things. So thank you, Rozemarjin, for making this happen for us for our IterateUX community. Okay, great. Okay, so quickly I'll introduce about IterateUX, the people who all are new to this event and with the community. So we are a community from UXers to UXers, you can say, wherein we are providing a platform wherein all UXers can come together, attend some events, learn on many areas, as we have a huge umbrella in UX. So yeah, learning is uh, must in the UX field for sure. Then connect with each other, work on some different projects, assignments, and those kind of stuff, and get a job in UX industry. So that is the kind of goal that we have for all the UXers. So for these, like what all things we do. So usually we have weekly events on Thursdays wherein people can come attend those events. If they have any questions, it is really very good opportunity wherein people can attend the event, ask questions in front of the speaker, so that like you will get that opportunity to clarify your all the doubts. So that is very important thing. All weekly events are free for everyone. Then we arrange design challenges as our current UXR challenge, which is going on, UX research challenge. So that's how we arrange different challenges as well. So feel free to use that as well to work on some projects and add some case studies in your portfolios. Then we do arrange whiteboard challenges as well to sharpen your interview skills. We have a portfolio and resume ticketing system on our Discord platform. Feel free to use that to get portfolio and resume reviews as well. And we do have our Discord platform. Feel free to use different channels wherein you will get some support, help, and some collaboration with other designers as well. Okay, then moving ahead, this is our next upcoming event, which is today evening that we have for UXR Challenge workshop, the one which we are running now. And this workshop will be for the ultimate guide to stakeholder interviews. So this workshop is major focus on the research method and research activities and tasks. So this is the first activity that we will have with the stakeholder to understand the product, understand the business goal, and understand the stakeholders as well. Then we will try to focus on the users and then understand the users also. So this workshops will be for that. Feel free to use that. Feel free to attend this workshop as well. And we will have upcoming workshops also, which will be related with our UXR challenge. So, yep. Moving ahead, before we begin, unmute yourself at the Q&A session if you have any questions and all. Check it out. Okay, feel free to ask any questions over here in the chat window so that we can consider that questions and the Q&A session. Every Thursday we have 5:30 p.m. PST. We have weekly events. Engage with our Discord community, Discord platform. Start conversation and be kind and have fun. Okay, meanwhile, we will be sharing some links in the chat window. Alice, today's moderator, so she will be sharing some of the links over there on the chat window over there. Some registrations, if you would like to register with us as a volunteer, if you would like to share your experience as a mentor, feel free to register over there. We'll be sharing networking link also. Feel free to fill out that so that you can connect with others. So, yep, that's the thing that we have. And feel free to share all your insights, learnings on your social media platforms, and feel free to tag IterateUX. Let others also get a chance to learn on many areas. Okay. As we are a non-profit organization, we do have one coffee link over there, support us coffee link. Alice will be sharing that with you in the chat window. Feel free to support us, which will help our community to run on many areas. So, yep, if you really like what we do, feel free to support us. Okay, so let's get started. Now I will hand over it to Rosemary. And yep, thank you.
Cool. Thank you. This was a very nice introduction. So, hello, I'm Rozemarjin, and for the people who don't know me from the kickoff, I'm one of the founders of Jaide. Paul's also here somewhere in the call. I'm a UX researcher myself, and Paul is doing his PhD in machine learning, and we both joined forces in order to get software out and making the whole process faster. And now I'm going to show you a little bit on how that's been done. Therefore, I'm gonna share my screen. But first off, Zarif, you have a very beautiful name.
Thank you. We have talked earlier, 3 name, I believe.
We did. Okay, have I shared my screen? Yeah, okay, cool. So how do you get the fastest interviews insights after doing the interviews? So first off, well, why would we do qualitative research anyway? Because we can do a lot about quantitative research, but so many people say this or want this or do that. But at the end, why? Why are they doing that? Why don't they do things? Why do they buy stuff? Why do they use a website? I don't know. So that's why we have to do get out there, talk to them, observe them, and see what they're actually doing. Because sometimes people don't even know what they're doing until you ask about it. And why should it be done fast? Because I have spoken many researchers this 1.5 year, and they said, okay, if I have to do transcribing, it takes 3 days, because if I do 6 interviews, and each interview of 1 hour takes 3 times as long in order to write everything down. And then you have to group that, 2 full days of grouping and getting all the information out and seeing different perspectives. And then you have to do the visualization in 5 days. Here's an example of someone who's doing the rainbow tables. And I'm quite curious about you guys. When you've done your interviews, how long do you take for doing the analysis? And you can put that in the chat. Or is it your first time doing research? That can also be, yeah, automatic transcription, very good. Too long? A couple hours, yep. Nope. That's at least very long. Thank you for responding. And why did we want to make software now? And that's because there's done so much research the past years about machine learning, the language, natural language processing, AI in general. So that was the right way in order for us to step in and use the technology being used specifically for us UX researchers. And we test out a lot of different tools out there. And most common and also the best quality out there is, for now, I'm not recommending it. I'm not working for them. But what we figured out was Tactic worked well, Microsoft Teams worked well, Lookback works okay, depending on which language you're using. I'm from Holland, doesn't work in Dutch, but English is fine. Or you can just record it. And then you can have an audio file which you can use later on. And then you have to do the whole interview, get all your questions out, ask them everything you can think of about all the things that you see. And then you've done the interviews and you have to do the whole analysis, because the stakeholders want some answers. The other interview will be, or the workshop will be about the stakeholders, but somehow you have to impress them with the results and the findings that you have. So first, you want to be as unbiased as possible. And even though you want to be unbiased, sometimes it's still that one person is memorized earlier than the other 5s, especially when you do it on Friday, you come back on Monday, and it's just like, what have those people said? I mentioned this one person because they also talked about a cat. I have a cat, so I have a good memory about that one. But what about the others? And you don't want to be that biased. Or some person had a very nice piercing, so you connected and you don't want it. So the moment that you remove those names, video, then you can really go into the depth about what they actually said. And also privacy, getting more and more important. I'm now in Europe and GDPR is a very big thing. It should be anonymized and private, and it should not be named back because in the end, you just want to see what they have said and not who they were. Because that you already did while figuring out which you wanted to speak with. And I see in the chat, anonymizing it automatically would be fantastic. Yes, indeed. Keep that in mind. So, and you want to have all those whoa moments out. So you can play around with multiple angles and then, okay, what are the tasks that they have to be done in order to fulfill whatever they had to do in the website or software whatsoever. Which task did they expect when they clicked on it or did not click on it? But also on the emotional level, what were their frustrations? What were their delights? You have to do it clustering in multiple ways. And that takes a lot of time because you have to go through all those interviews again and again and again and again and again. And that's why it takes so long. So time for some action. Also, we have a 20% discount. If you're part of the challenge happening now, you have a different discount. But if you're part of this Discord, then you can find a unique code to have 20% off. And that being said, are there any questions so far before I'm gonna show what Jaide's doing?
Can you go back a few slides, please?
Oh, I heard something, but I couldn't.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, sorry. Can you go back a few slides, like 2 or 3 or something, if it's all right? Very clean presentation, by the way. Okay, great. So, no, just 2 slides next. 2 slides? Yeah, all right. So, how are we planning on okay, removing names and visuals? So, is it gonna happen only in case of the recording, or is it gonna happen as that how are we thinking to implement this? Because I'm thinking okay, removing names and visuals for our recording stuff only, but I would be able to just be flexible and talk to them, but I won't, record it in any way. Is that what's happening? How are we doing this? I'm just trying to understand how are we approaching this.
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. The moment that you record a video, because you do it in Google Meet, for example, or Zoom, then you have a video as well. But the moment that you only get the audio out, you don't have visuals anymore. And also the moment that you upload it, try to remove all the names. Then you don't have the bias of the name again. So that can help already. If you take your own notes, then you can choose not to write down the name, but person 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what people do a lot, which helps really nice. But the moment that you want to do a longitude study, you have to do the interview like this, and then the second one so many years later. And then it's just like, okay, is it one of this interview or the P1 of that interview? I don't know anymore. So be creative about the titles, and then it should be fine. Does that help?
Yeah, great. And by the way, you're looking beautiful as well, and I'm flattered. Thank you.
Thank you. Very cool. Okay, then I don't see any more questions. I'm gonna stop this presentation and go to the website. The moment that you try it for free, you get 1 month to just play around with it. And then the moment that you log in, you come right here. And what you get is actually 2 projects, which you can use for 1 month to play around with. And we already have placed 5 different interviews for free, and you can just play around with that. And it's all about people doing grocery shopping and what motivates them to do grocery shopping. I'm not going to tell the answers, but you can just play around with it before you put your own data in it. And the moment that you upload something from Lookback, Tactic, Microsoft Teams, or you can download the template, they can just drag and drop it in here, and then it automatically anonymizes it for you. So you place it in there, the names will be gone, and you get a different randomized name as a placeholder. So you don't have to do that manually anymore. And then you have a unique color for each person. So you can do the rainbow table or whatsoever, but at least you can see from the sticky notes later on that this color is in this group. So if there's one giant group with only one color, it can be extremely interesting because it has a unique view. Or you have a group with all the colors in there. So you know, okay, it might be important because all the people said something about this, or they felt something about this. And if you don't like the colors, you can always change it to a different color. I really like orange, but you can do any color you want. And if you delete it, privacy again, it's gone. We don't store it longer than you want it in there. The moment that you delete it, it's gone. We cannot reach it, you cannot reach it. So that's also nice to say to your participants for the privacy. And a little bit about the template. If you just download it, it pops up right here. And then you will have a the text over here of your different sentences. Then you can write time down. If you have an automatic tool, do it please like that. Don't do it manually like that. It's totally fine. And then the author who said what, which, so you can see, okay, this is what I said, and this is what the participant said. Or if you have a focus group, then participant 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are visual in that sense. Don't go too deep in this one. This is just a template. You can place your own text in there. But if you have Tactic, which is free, you can just put it in your Zoom, put it in your Google Meet. It will have a similar template, look and feel. And then you can go to the analysis. And there you can see the interviews again. So yeah, we also have a Q&A afterwards. So what you can see over here is just like a WhatsApp conversation. On the left side is the interviewee. On the right side, that's the researcher. And you can read them all one by one, but that will take too many steps to do that. So what we did for you is actually, if I go in here, I can just go to one question that I ask many times about, okay, how frequently do you go? I want to get that answer out. I just drag and drop. And then immediately from all the different interviews, the answers pop out. So I don't have to come there one by one, because if it's going to be an hour, it will be searching a lot of times. And now it will be done for you. And then the rainbow table is just like soup, 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 soup. And it's in there. And then if I want to see more, I can just click on it, and then I can see the whole conversation from that spot on. And maybe I want to get more information out. Okay, maybe this is also interesting. And if I go to this one, I can, oh, okay, maybe this one is also very interesting. I can make it richer than the starting point. And then if I think, okay, hey, someone is talking about an app, I can also go to suggestions, and then I do a different route, but then placed on people saying something about the app. So that might be a different group, and I see everything, what different people said, again from the colors, what they used an app for, why that would be interesting during the grocery shopping, and I can just make a new group from that perspective. Then you have two ways to either do it, either by the interview of the question, either by the suggestion from a specific topic and do the deep dive from that. And then you can actually go, okay, by the task that they have to do, or the emotions, or a specific topic, you get the answers out very fast. Then I can select them all, and if I press G of groups, I can make a title out of it. I can also use this button, by the way, but I like shortcuts. And then I can make this one about the free. Okay, and I can make this one. I select them. I press this button. I get the same one about app usage. And then it auto scales, so you don't have to do that manually as well, because this has no 3. These have more, but the moment that I place them, you already see that this one will grow bigger and this becomes smaller. And then you can make your groups from there, and the whole scene will be growing during your interviews. And if you think, okay, I'm done, I have all my groups, I have all the relations that I want to have out there, I have all my wow moments, I can press this button for making an export of the whole screen, which I can show to the stakeholders, my fellow researchers, stuff like that. And there it is. And if I need the whole screen, I can just press it away and I can return it again. And that is how Jaide works. Are there any questions? I see a question about.
I think there are some like questions at the channel, and thank you for have answered some of them, and some of them haven't been answered. So I think like can you export to something like FigJam?
No, but I'm interested in what you want to see. Daniel, can you elaborate a little bit on that?
I just assume that, like, if you want to collaborate, it's easier to edit everything in a tool like FigJam, or whatever else is out there.
Okay, so you can collaborate with other researchers. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, it's on the roadmap, so it's not there yet. But thank you for mentioning it. That's good to know. Other question? Oh, I see.
Yeah. One of the things, it's so cool, by the way, like dragging and dropping all of your conversations. That's really cool. And I'm loving this so far. So one of the things I think FigJam is really connected because of the brainstorming and collaborative brainstorming and ideation type of thing that we do in FigJam on Miro. So I think that's what Daniel was speaking about, and I think I would love to see that as well.
Okay, interesting. Good to know. Then we have to move it up in the roadmap, I think. Thank you for that.
Could you elaborate a little bit more? I see this interview analysis and personas on the left. Is there are there other features in there, or are they just folders, or how?
That's still in. That's a good question indeed. The personas is still in development, so I cannot show you it yet now, but it's gonna come out soon.
So we have the transcribed data here on the right, and then we can drag drop multiple sets of questions onto the whiteboard kind of a space and cluster them based on the answers for all questions, or even move them to cluster and do analysis in whatever way we choose. Am I understanding this right?
Yeah, you can do the analysis in here, dragging and dropping, making all the different groups. And for the transcription, you can go to the interview page, and then you can drop your files in here, either text files or audio files, and then it will be uploaded and automatically placed into the analysis.
Okay. I had written a question on the chat, and I think Paul answered it with regard to adding some other types of notes. And I was told that I need to add it as a separate participant, and then I can drag it and drop it right now. So I'm not allowed to make another sticky note or any other note on that whiteboard when I'm analyzing the interview. Just curious about that.
No, we are working on making the text editable. So the moment that there has been a weird translation in the automated transcription, then you're able to change that. But for now, the only text that you can put is the titles of the groups. What kind of text are you searching for to add?
I'm thinking adding more insights apart from just direct quotes from the users, because sometimes you might combine a list of quotes from different users and write a set of insights from there. Now, that's why people end up using some other tool to do that kind of work. The idea is that if there was any way to put that inside this place itself, looking a little different, but yet allow you to edit and write that'll make me go deeper into the analysis, because it's not just about clustering the data, because you have to pull out some understanding from that clusters and not leave it just as quotes of people talking about it. So I'm just thinking if there's anything I can do on the tool currently which will help me write that or note that or pull that out in some way. Yeah,
interesting. I think I have to disappoint you right now that we don't have extra edit version right now, but we're going to look into what we can create for you.
Sure. No issues. And is there any other way to, apart from dragging, dropping, is there any other way to look back at multiple use of certain words or certain things being repeated, apart from us visually looking at it, automatically looking at patterns or anything which is happening in the text?
No, it's the moment that you go to the analysis and you actually see, like, for example, someone saying yes, then the suggestions will find things which are related.
Okay, great.
So this is not very insightful, this yes, but if I go for nuts and juices, then similar things about snacks and bananas and stuff come out as well. And they will be changing for each time that you have a different sticky note.
Great. Is there any way to get an idea of how the suggestions are being done, just to understand it from an analysis point of view as a researcher? Is it coming from the repeat use of a word? Is it coming from any other type of analysis about the text?
It's happening by machine learning, who's looking at the text and looks at similarities more than just a search of the direct word.
Okay, got it.
And the context around it.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, cool.
Can I just have I have a question just about sort of walking through the whole process. So like if we were doing an interview, we should be doing that interview using any recorded platform we want, and that gets uploaded into Jaide. Is that accurate? Yeah. And then gets analyzed. So we could do Zoom, we could do Google Meet. Like, are there are those the two that we should be focusing on, or are there? I don't know we don't have our study assignments yet, or our company assignments yet. But if we were going to do like a usability study, is that something that can be done through your platform, or we would need to use like user Zoom or something and then get the recordings and upload them into your, like, I guess I'm just trying to I'm trying to figure out, since I don't know exactly what we're doing yet in terms of our individual projects, how do we integrate our tasks with your system?
Let's turn it around. What do you expect?
Well, so let's say there were a usability study. Is that something that we do on a different platform, and then it's just the recorded information gets uploaded into your platform?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is correct.
And as long as it's in a CSV file, I don't even know the format of these files, but I don't know the verbiage, but what does it need to take a certain form, and is that something that can only be found in certain platforms?
What you can, if you have an audio file, you can use MP3 files.
Okay.
And then it will be transcribed for you. And if you have a text file, then you have a CSV file, which if you use Numbers or Excel or the Google Sheets, then you can export it as you can export PDF, you can export it as a CSV file.
Okay. And then in terms of the analysis, I saw how the suggestion shows, like if you highlight a certain word, it creates other words. And you might have already gone over this, but like for a specific question, can you, how do you get one question and then get how everyone answered that one question?
Oh, yeah, good question. I'll go back to the interview. So let's go to the first one. So over here, I have one about what kind do you buy? I just drag the question out from my perspective, and then all the answers come out from the different participants. Doesn't matter if you have 5 or 50 users.
Okay. And then at the very beginning, I think you showed maybe a chart where there was like the rainbow like analysis. Is that part of, is the analysis piece of Jaide working as well now, or is that in process? This is
working.
So would that also show like the question and then how each person responded, like in different colors across, like would it create a grid?
No, this is only the place where you can upload interviews, and then a title and a color will be added, and then you can change the color, for example. So make it pink, and then the moment that you go back to the analysis, then all the interviews are already uploaded up here, where you can do the whole analysis part. So the interviews only the place where you can upload files.
Okay. Thank you.
I have one question. Since like we can download the PDF or maybe we can download the JPG or something like that, is there any way where we can download the Excel sheet like the questionnaires that we have, something like that?
From
or
only
maybe
this?
any other platform? From this?
Interesting question. I've heard that before this week. We don't have that one now. Yeah. Why do you want to have an export like that?
Yeah, so usually sometimes we use spreadsheets to check out all the information and share those informations and something like that to make some decisions, to prioritize those or something like that. So sometimes we use spreadsheets also. So if that is possible, that will be an additional helpful for us.
I think I'm gonna call you this week to elaborate a little bit more on that, and I can see what I can do for you.
Yep. So sometimes we share those Excel sheets or all the data with the stakeholders, like through Excel sheet. So sometimes like some stakeholders are not good with Miro. They are not good with PicJams and those kind of stuff. So sometimes we share those files, which is preferable for them to understand like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Got it.
Okay, that's great. But this functionality I really like. I guess somebody asked the questions like, can we get all the quotes from all the users? So the one functionality that you have already presented, like you can just grab that question and you can see all those answers. So similar way, you can grab all the quotes that all the participants has shared in that interviews or something like that,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, like everything which is being said in the interview is all there. And the difference is if I do it from my perspective as a researcher, then all the questions come out. If I only do the left side, then I only have the question to enrich it.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. And any like we can upload any videos, right? From Zoom, from Google Meet, or any other platform also, right?
Only the audio files.
Only the audio files.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. And how this will help the usability test? So sometimes in the usability test, we ask participant to perform some task, right? So sometimes they think aloud. Okay, we ask them to think aloud, but sometimes they just showcase like how they are going ahead and all those things. So is there any way to capture that scenario, or just if users are thinking out loud, then only we can capture those wordings, something like that?
Exactly. So it is indeed critical that people think out loud about what they think if they see a certain page. But print shots cannot be edited right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Looks great. It's like very easiest way to capture all the comments rather than taking notes and making everything at that time. But yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have one researcher who had this manager who only got to one interview of the 5. And then afterwards, she was always frustrated because that manager only thought of that one particular interview and then just like, okay, this person said that, so we have to build this. And she was just like, no, because the other 5 said no. And then they were always struggling about who was right. And then when she was using Jaide, she could just say, okay, that's an interesting question about that feature. Let's see what other people are saying about it. So she dragged out the question about that specific version. And then she saw indeed that one caller said yes, and all the other callers said, no, I'm not going to pay for that. I don't want that. And then the manager was convinced, even though he wasn't there during all the other interviews.
That's great. That's great. So it's kind of a evidence that we will always keep it for all our user interviews and all, right?
Yeah,
that's great. That's nice. Anyone has any question, feel free to unmute yourself if you think your answer is not being answered by Paul. But Paul is answering all the questions. We can see
it's
that.
Awesome.
But yeah, he's just answering all the questions. But if anyone would like to ask any questions, feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I want to ask one thing. So when we are just dragging, dropping all of the sticky notes, so it's for a specific question. So are you guys planning on like when you're clustering all of it? So are you guys planning on labeling it with respect to the question in some way, so that we don't need to manually label it, or like we can edit it? You have shown it already that we can add the text and name the cluster, but like, is there any way to just directly put the question there and try to define, okay, these are the answers to the questions. I don't have to look right and left at the same time. So just look specifically, on the front and the top. There's the question, and on the bottom are the clustered answers. So like, yeah, that's what I was thinking of improving. Or like, improvising on your context already.
So if I'm understanding correctly, you want to drag a question out, get all the answers related to that question, and then it automatically gives a name, and then you can just like drag out all the question, and you have group with the names.
Not exactly. Can you just drag and drop? I'll tell you. So
okay, yes.
Drag and drop again. Yeah,
sure. Okay. Question.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just zoom in. So the question is on the right, if I'm not wrong, right? And the question was, what was the question?
If there was a app that would help them reduce food waste.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
these are
So
the
like
answers.
I want the question to be on the top too. That's what I was thinking about. Like, okay, the question is there's a label that is identifying the question, and I have all the answers on the bottom. That's what I was thinking. You're manually labeling it, right? So that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay,
I think
so
that would
if
be good.
if I drag it out and then it automatically says
Yes.
over there app about food waste.
Yes.
And then it's automatically poop. Interesting.
Yeah, something like that.
I've never had that question before, so I'm curious about what the technology does about that. So
yeah, not
think...
exactly the term itself. It doesn't have to do anything. Even if the question should be on the top, not renaming it. We can manually rename it. I was thinking, like, what if we put the question exactly like that?
Well, like exactly like this question.
Yeah, exactly. That wouldn't require any kind of machine learning or anything to analyze. Okay, like what terminology you should put. You don't need that. You just need to put the question. That's it. That's the thing. That that would have been a good identifier of how we are. Like what is the answer to which question, if we can think about it. That's what I was thinking. I don't have to look on the right and left. Yeah.
No, interesting. I think I have to get back to you about that. Very creative.
All right. All right. Another thing is, like, in the interview section, can you go, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking, like, instead of like veggie one, and it's only about color. There is no way to, other than editing color. There is no way to use avatar or anything like that right now, right? If I'm not wrong. So there is like 5 participants here, so all of them just are color coded differently. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we were to add something like, I have used an app called, I still use it. So that's called MediSafe. So what they do is, like, they have avatar for all ages, something like that. As we are not, it's not bad that we are identifying them in a name way, but it's for us as UX researchers to identify what kind of demographic the participant is from. So, like, a better identifier would be an avatar or something like that. It's just for us to identify them, like that would be great, I think.
Okay, and what kind of identifiable information do you place in there? Can you give an example?
Just like so if like identifying age, like if we are just interviewing teenage people, so like the people with teenage avatar, or if we are interviewing older people, something like that. I'm not asking, I'm not saying that it's just an idea. I'm not saying that I have a clear and detailed picture of it, but I think a better identifier would be a little bit more detailed, so that we can that's the thing. Yeah, great.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I'm writing it down.
I hope it's just a good suggestion. I know these are very nuanced things, but I think these are very crucial for a positive flowing user experience.
Yeah.
Consistency. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's great. And we have many good suggestions also. Yeah. Anyone has any question? I guess we are good, right?
I think so.
Yep. And also, for all the UXR participants, we have a channel which says Jaide Tool Support. Feel free to ask any questions over there. We have people from Jaide team wherein who will be helping you for all the questions. If you have any problem with registrations, application here, there, feel free to ask over there. They are there to support you. And thank you so much, Rosemary, for this. For sure.
Thank you for all the
Yep.
questions and having me.
Okay, great. That's great. So, yep, thank you so much. And it was really very amazing to see like how we can use this tool, which is very important, wherein we usually face these issues. Like we have many user interview, again, listen all those things, make notes, all those things and all, which is very sometimes annoying. That way we can say. Yeah, but it is always good to refer other interviews as well that we have done like 2 months back, 3 months back, something like that. We don't remember those words. We don't remember the terminology that user has used it, right? So this is a really very great tool where we can use this tool for our previous projects also to make some evidence and those kind of stuff, which is amazing. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing this presentation and showcasing the demo as well, which will definitely help.
Great.
Okay. Yep. So, yep, we are good. We are on time, we can say. Thank you so much, everyone. Yep. And yeah, feel free to share your insights on your social media. Feel free to ask other also to use this platform and check once like how they can use it. And like it's a really very good platform for UXers, we can say.
Hey everyone, on behalf of IterateUX, we would like to thank you so much for watching this week's event. If you like the content, please leave a like and subscribe. We'll have events every Thursday at 5:30 Pacific Time. Join our Discord in the description to find out more.